everyone, welcome back to Smart Path Tutoring. This video is on GCSE Chemistry on fuel cells. Fuel cells use fuel and oxygen to produce electrical energy. A fuel cell is an electrical cell that's supplied with a fuel and oxygen or air and uses energy from the reaction between them to produce electrical energy efficiently. When the fuel enters the cell, it becomes oxidized and sets up potential difference within the cell. There are a few different types of fuel cells using different fuels and different electrolytes. One important example is the hydrogen-oxygen fuel cell. This fuel cell combines hydrogen and oxygen to produce nice, clean water and release energy. Hydrogen-oxygen fuel cells involve a redox reaction. The electrolyte is often an acid, such as a phosphoric acid. The electrodes are often porous carbon with a catalyst. Hydrogen goes into the anode compartment and oxygen goes into the cathode compartment. Watch out, in electrolysis, the anode is the positive electrode and the cathode is the negative one. When dealing with fuel cells, they're the other way around. At the negative electrode, the anode, hydrogen loses electrons to produce H+ ions. This is called oxidation. So H2 is 2H+ plus 2 electrons. H+ ions in the electrolyte move to the cathode, the positive electrode. At the positive electrode, the cathode, oxygen gains electrons from the cathode and reacts with H+ from the acidic electrolyte to make water. This is reduction. O2 plus 4H plus 4 electrons is 2H20. The electrons flow through an external circuit from the anode to the cathode. This is the electric circuit. The overall reaction is hydrogen plus oxygen, which gives water. Hydrogen-oxygen fuel cells could be used in vehicles. Conventional fuels for vehicles, such as petrol, have finite supply, meaning that they won't last forever and they're very polluting. So vehicles that use electrical energy are becoming more and more popular. Batteries are one way of getting cleaner energy, but hydrogen-oxygen fuel cells might be even better. Hydrogen-oxygen fuel cells could be used in vehicles. Fuel cell vehicles don't produce as many pollutants as other fuels, meaning there's no greenhouse gases, nitrogen oxides, sulfur dioxide, or carbon monoxide. The only byproducts are water and heat. Electric vehicles don't produce many pollutants either, but their batteries are more polluting to dispose of than fuel cells because they are made of highly toxic metal compounds. Batteries in electric vehicles are rechargeable, but there's a limit to how many times that they can be recharged before they need replacing, and batteries are more expensive to make than fuel cells. Batteries also store less energy than fuel cells and so would need to be recharged more often, which can take a long time. However, there are still some disadvantages of using hydrogen fuel cells, such as hydrogen is a gas, so it takes up loads more space to store than a rechargeable battery. Hydrogen is explosive when mixed with air, so it's hard to store safely. The hydrogen fuel is often made either from hydrocarbons, from fossil fuels, or by electrolysis of water, which uses electricity. And that electricity has got to be generated somehow, usually from fossil fuels. That's the end of the video. I hope that you all enjoyed. Thank you for watching.